Hello, Galen.
Well, hey, Daryl. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. And we are recording our fifth podcast. Isn't that remarkable? Yep.
Yes.
We're going to jump into a variety of things of our school years, probably K through 12, but mostly, and as our theme heading to every podcast, is we laugh, we chat, we make memories.
Yes, we do. And we've been laughing and chatting for a few years now. And then we decided to turn on the recording and invite the world in. And now we're doing it. We're going to talk kindergarten through 12th grade roughly, just see what school was like for anybody.
Yeah, we got
Oh.
the whole world in our hands.
Are we starting to sing? Is this a musical podcast as well?
That's the first thing that popped into my head.
Yes. Would you like to buy the world a Coke? Oh, okay.
I can
Sorry.
hear the
Wow.
song now. I can hear it now.
That'll be the
I'd
song
like
later.
to change the world.
Oh,
I don't even know the words.
I know.
But anyway, here we
Hey,
go.
yeah, did you go to school? I think we need proof that you even went to school.
Why is it time out? Why is it always about me? Stop making it about me.
It can't be about me if it's about you. Uh,
Yeah, you're more relaxed that way. It's good to see you relaxed.
yes. Well,
Exactly.
yeah, I actually do have a picture of me graduating from high school. People can't really believe it. Ooh, that does not look like you, and we're not sure you actually completed.
Did you
But
have hair?
oh, I might have had hair. Yes, I did. It was my best. I always say my best year of hair was third grade.
My best year.
And it just has been a
Uh,
mess every day before and every day after. I had one
my
good
best day of
hairdresser.
my best day of hair, he says. Boy, you know what? You just prompted a thought
Yes.
in fourth grade for me with hair. But we'll get to that when we get to fourth grade.
Oh man. Are we doing so we're kind of doing it by grade maybe, or should we just
Oh, it's up to you. I
in
mean,
general?
we
I mean,
might as well. I mean, because basically, we've been through the rungs of school, K through 12, and then we went on to Greenville, which we already talked about, which is college.
yes.
Did you go on to get a master's?
Nope.
Me neither.
I've done some continuing education in more of a general way in a couple areas, but not, I'm not getting any degrees or more specifically college level. Yeah.
Yeah, the only degrees I don't like are the ones below zero. The
Oh,
one,
it's
you know,
brutal.
but where's that rim shot?
Okay, I knocked something. Don't edit that out. That's pretty funny. Well, yeah, I mean, how many schools did you go to? I mean, I think I'm going to beat you on the number of schools that I went
The
to.
number of schools would be, let's see, I'm gonna include Lansingburg High and Knickerbocker because Knickerbocker at the time was 7, 8, and 9, and then high school was 10, 11, 12. Then I went to Hudson Valley Community College, and then I went to Greenville College, and I went to elementary, which was called Whipple School for K1 and 2, and then I went to St. Augustine's Catholic School 2 through 8. So
Oh
what
my
was that?
goodness.
6?
Well, but here's the part you missed earlier when I started the podcast with Daryl. We said kindergarten through 12.
Well,
So you
you
throw
can.
in two colleges, that doesn't count. Oh,
Well, you said how
forevermore.
many schools. I was just trying to give you a reference of how many schools. I guess if that was the even see, it's funny because Knickerbocker Junior High School was 7 through 9, 7, 8, and 9. The high school, but they were all in the same area. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There wasn't the same building, but they were just adjacent to each other. Is that considered one or two schools? I don't even know. Forget
Well,
I'm saying this.
yeah.
I would consider that two schools. So I had four schools total, and you're up
Woohoo!
there.
I'm up. Let's see. I think I'm at about 9.
Yeah.
Because we moved a bunch. I mean, I started kindergarten or I did kindergarten, and then I started first grade, Boise Christian Day School, Boise, Idaho. Then we moved during my first grade year, so that was a second first grade, and then that was first, second, third at Emmanuel Lutheran School in Twin Falls, Idaho. And then, oh, I did a public school for 1 year, Central Elementary, Jerome, Idaho. Then I did fifth and sixth in Twin Falls Christian Academy. And then I did Bora Elementary, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Canfield Junior High. Jerome Junior High, South Middle School, Nampa, Idaho, Nampa High School. There I was. Go Bulldogs. Do you remember your mascot? I mean, your high school mascot? What's going on with that?
The Lansingburg Knights.
Oh, man.
Why do you say
Lansingburg.
"oh night"?
I
Oh
love
man.
I love Lansingburg. You know I've written a poem about it, so we'll share that at a different time.
Yeah, great. You wrote a poem.
I wrote a poem. It's good.
Uh,
Lansingburg. Never been there, but
no,
I
but
will. I will go sometime. I mean, that's a given that I will be there sometime.
okay, cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That works.
I'm not going to go back to school, all the places you went to school, but especially
Yeah, I think
Catholic. Now, what about that? That's interesting because people have a negative experience with Catholic school sometimes. Like,
well,
oh,
nowadays things have changed and they're
the way they do things.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and things really got ugly for the Catholic schools and a lot of churches as well. It was decent school. It wasn't bad. As a matter of fact, they were around for 147 years.
Wow. Did you get your knuckles busted? I mean,
No, but like
okay.
I had alluded to before, in fourth grade, my fourth grade teacher called Sister Margaret Bonville. I don't remember the circumstance, but I had hair like Moe from the Three Stooges, like the
Oh.
old bowl cut, but I had thick hair and it hung down like Moe. But
Ah.
I don't know what happened, and somebody blamed me for doing something, which really I don't believe it was my fault, but it could have been.
Mhm.
I don't recall. Then she come walking down the aisle, and I didn't see her, and next thing you know, she got her hand on my head and just shook my head all around. I'm
Oh
telling you,
man.
maybe it shook some sense into me. I did well in fifth. That was fourth grade. I did very well in fifth grade.
Well, there you go. So
Maybe
is that something we need to do for you now? Just grab your head and shake it a little bit like a snow
maybe,
globe.
gosh.
Ah.
Maybe, but there's nothing to grab onto anymore.
Oh, I love it. Oh my
So,
gosh.
hey, just for fun, let's just
Yes.
run down if you can remember, because there's some that I can't. I have four blanks here because in high school we had homeroom teachers. Yeah.
I
Well, let's just
yeah.
just see if you can remember. We'll just bounce back and forth, starting with kindergarten, I guess.
Okay. Well, and for me, kindergarten, it was a very, very conservative Christian school. So I did get my knuckles rapped. I got thumped on my knuckles with a ruler
Whoa.
by the teacher, Mrs. Roberts. Mr. Batani was first grade, and he didn't do my knuckles. He just took off his belt and gave me a whooping.
What were you, a troublemaker in
I
kindergarten?
kind of was a troublemaker until I think I've got history of being struck by teachers until fifth or sixth grade. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, that kind of punishment was more acceptable. Maybe not
Yeah.
fourth grade. I was a real character in fourth grade, but I don't think I got a SWAT or called in for anything. Most of these are just like, that paddle, the feared paddle at the principal's office that a lot of kids have the fear of.
Mine was the fear of my mother getting called.
Oh, well, yeah, then
Forget
you
the
get a different
paddle.
paddle at home.
Wow, the paddle.
Oh, and
So
some of those, yeah. Oh,
what was the name of your kindergarten teacher?
Mrs. Roberts.
Mrs. Roberts.
Oh, neat lady. A neat family. It was like her and her husband had started this or were pastors at this church, but then they also did the school and then their kids I know were around and I got bunches of stories on some of these people that we'll
Mm.
talk about. I know we're not doing stories on them, we're doing us. This is our school experience.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Kindergarten for me was Mrs. Zick, and
Okay.
I don't remember what her original name was, but she got married while in school, and I remember that being a big deal. That was at Whipple Elementary School, which is only a block down from where we lived. So
Oh,
we could walk and the field that was across the street was, look huge. We would play as we got older, we would play, all kinds of sports there. But the field itself was only a half a block long, not even, it was just a square. It was a square on a city block. It wasn't
wow.
even fenced in, it was just an open field, but we took advantage of, so did other neighborhood kids. We took advantage of that. We were down there quite a bit during my teenage years.
Yeah.
middle years and all that.
Well,
So
that's
moved.
one thing. I mean, could you walk to school most
Yeah,
of the time, or did you bus or?
kindergarten, first grade. Yeah, we walked. I primarily, maybe my mother even walked with us because it was kindergarten, first and second grade. No, kindergarten, first grade for me. But maybe she walked too and just walked back home
Oh, okay.
because we were only a block away.
Yeah.
The other school, 2 through 8, we walked primarily by ourselves. We were 6 blocks away. That was no problem. Occasionally we'd get a ride. But once we hit high school or ninth grade, we took a bus that picked us up. We had to walk a couple blocks to get the bus. Primarily, we walked to get the bus and we rode the bus to school because it was, a couple miles to high school.
Okay. No walking there. There's some kind of cool stories that we might get into about, waiting at a bus stop with a group of kids. Oh my gosh. Some of that horsing around was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh,
Miss Lee was my first grade teacher.
aha.
I think it was I think I was in a commercial, but I don't remember if it was kindergarten or first. I was very hyper. But I
Oh,
mean
were you
hyper, but
now?
I was very hyper in the way, but but I was outgoing, and I think that's when I started like having all of this entertainment type things come out. But a lot of that was on the gym floor, because we had gymnastics. And I remember there was a big thing. We had all the rings and the horse thing you had to straddle and jump around, and the mat
Yes.
running around and things like so like basically gymnastics. So between that and the commercial, those are like my highlights in kindergarten, first grade, but that was it for me in kindergarten or in Whipple School. Mr. Whipple School. Remember
Mr.
Mr.
Whipple.
Whipple?
We know him
Don't
from somewhere.
don't squeeze the Charmin.
That's right. Oh, well, like I said, we move so much. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to touch base with every one of my
Yeah, that's
schools.
fine. We'll just bounce back and forth and keep it flowing.
I think I had two or three different teachers named Peterson, last name, third grade, and then fourth grade for sure. In fourth grade, it was a combined class, so there was almost 60 kids, but there was two teachers. And so we did some things together and some things apart. And I remember that one of my friends in fourth grade, his mom was dating our teacher. And so she'd come to the school for lunch. And then here comes Mr. Peterson from behind the chalkboard, one of those rolling chalkboards, and his hair's messed up and he's got lipstick on his face.
Really?
Oh man, it was so good. So then we did Christmas cards or Valentine cards or whatever you do, and I put this kid's name, but I didn't use his real last name. I used the teacher's last name. Like, "Oh, that's your dad now." Oh, he was mad. This kid was so mad at me. He's like, "That's not my dad. And they're not married. No, 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 no." He just had this whole deal. That's probably why I remember that whole thing is how how much of a stir it caused.
Well, yeah, trouble again.
I know. Oh no, I've got a theme actually. It's one of my life themes. I'd like to believe I'm misunderstood and misdirected and misunderstood. It might not be true.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Overall, as a kid, I'm just trying to survive and just make sure I'm not the biggest dope in the class, the biggest goof, the most found out to be the stupidest or the ugliest or the fattest or the skinniest or I mean, I just don't want to go to any extremes. I want to just kind of be in the middle. Once in a while, have a funny answer. I remember one teacher asking, "Okay, who knows a funny joke?" And every kid raises their hand, even if it's the very basic, just very, very basic knock knock jokes or whatever. And of course, we'd all heard 90% of them, but there was a couple that were pretty good, if I remember right, and not mine. You don't want to be too much of a standout in any way. Through most of my school, that's what I'm remembering is, yeah, safely put yourself out there. But if it gets too, well, we need you to take that on the stage at the talent show for the, oh no, heck no. And that's mostly those younger years.
Yeah, that's fun.
I don't know. What
Fun
about you
times.
for trying to just fly below the radar and not be,
Well, I always did because I didn't like school. I mean, I guess I did K through 5. I guess my outlook changed in sixth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade, and especially up through high school. But I was always quiet anyway. I guess I could say outgoing, but I was just goofy. I was goofy. I acted goofy. I just did weird things. I couldn't even tell you. I think in third grade, Miss Shields, I can remember most of my teachers, except for like seventh and eighth grade. And my homeroom teacher for 9 through 12 was Mrs. Drabitko. She was Russian or German. Nice person. She was fine, but I had her all 4 years for the homeroom, but I can't remember the study, the classroom teachers' names. Staying under the radar, but I remember in kindergarten something it had to be a girl. It was a little girl, and we liked each other. But I think she had a brother, and all of a sudden he found out that I liked her. And we were like 5 years old, and he'd come over and start
Oh,
sticking up. I remember being at Charlotte's Web when that first came out, and we were
wow.
just sitting there next to each. We're not even talking. We're just sitting there watching a movie, and all of a sudden I'm getting pummeled. Not
Isn't that
not
funny?
really, but it was
Yeah.
just a weird, I don't even remember her name or who it was, staying under the radar. Just my presence.
Yes.
Third grade, I had Miss Shields. She didn't care for me that much, but I also was a crybaby because I was so scared of everything. But I do remember that's when my first play, even though I had a commercial in kindergarten, first grade. Third grade, I had Hansel and Gretel. I got to be one of the singers. They were looking for a boy singer, and I just started singing it, and they liked what I got part of the Hansel and Gretel singing. Me and a girl named Chris Rossetti. We weren't the actors, we were just the singers. And then
Yeah.
fourth grade, Sister Margaret Bonneville, she's the one that I told you about with the hair. She grabbed a hold of my head and just shook it around like an eraser. But I also won a spelling bee in fourth grade. Fifth grade, Mrs. Fredette. Academically, I had my best grades ever in fifth grade. But then, sixth grade, Sister Mary Agatha. Funny story with her. She would sit there, and if you're taking a test or something, she'd fold her hands, but then she would pick her nose with her index fingers.
Oh, nice.
I mean, she was nice. She was older, typical person you'd see in a movie as a teacher if you're, going against the teachers. But she was a
Yeah.
nice lady, but a lot of people picked on her very badly for what she looked like and, her actions, like what I just told you.
Yeah.
She was a math teacher. And
Huh.
seventh and eighth grade, I don't remember,
Huh.
but seventh and eighth, I don't remember that well.
That's, I mean, you're bringing up something with her like folding her hands and probably trying to be discreet with picking her nose or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something with teachers or really anybody. When I think of it now, I'm realize, oh, they're at their workplace. They're trying to make their workspace safe and good for them, but they're also trying to teach kids, and they've got this pack of little brats sometimes that are just awful. Anyway, she's just trying to feel comfortable, and we had different ones like that too.
Like named
One,
Galen.
oh yeah, until what was that?
I said you mean you had different teachers, but you had students, the pack and trying to be discreet. But then you had students named Galen.
Yes. Sometimes they were crazy. I remember third grade, kind of people would choose the class clown, and it was this guy named Brian and me were the two that they thought, oh, those two guys are the funniest. I don't know. Maybe this is funny that we're doing right now here.
Maybe. I don't hear
Anyway,
any laughing.
man.
Yeah, I remember the cutest couple. This was a college
Oh,
story in the
yes.
choir, and they voted me to the cutest couple with a guy named Mark Anderson.
Oh, no.
We
Yeah, I
were we
remember
were in
him.
the choir. Yeah, he was a funny guy. The two of us got put together.
Oh, I think you just jumped out of kindergarten through 12th again.
I think I did, but it was it
Which,
was worth noting.
oh, it was worth noting. It's totally worth it.
So
I guess as I'm looking back at my whole life, I realized, wow, there was really building blocks and stepping stones, and school's a big one. I think that's why people will relate to this is just how big of a deal it is. Go through the school system, private schools or public. I don't know. Did your parents or anybody ever consider doing like maybe homeschooling or?
no, it wasn't a thing
Yeah,
because both my parents worked in at least the high school years. Can't remember how long my mother actually worked, but no, that was never an option. Never an
yeah.
option. But I do know that I always wanted to go to, when I was in St. Augustine's, I wanted to go to high school at Catholic Central High School, but I went to Lansingburg Public School. I'm glad I ended up going, but I didn't really have a choice. The tuition for both of the schools was pretty significant for that time in the 70s.
Hmm.
So I didn't realize how much they were actually paying.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, and
So,
that's similar to my family too, with I think I went to three different private or Christian schools, or was it four, three, maybe just three. But anyway, and there's whole stories about, our finances growing up and how that impacts your schooling too. Makes a difference on if you can show up with nice clothes on, or you have enough to be in sports or music or whatever else. I mean, there's some things we definitely had to say no to when I was a kid.
yeah, and that was the thing that my sister brought up as far as us going to school. Here we are walking to school, not, we don't know any different. We're naive to everything around us. But my parents smoked, and we lived in a two-bedroom apartment all of our young years. And my parents smoked, and we'd go to school smelling like smoke. You don't realize it until after the fact, or if you witness it from someone else. Oh, wow, hey, they smell like cigarettes or whatever. And that was something that we notated as we got older because it kind of got disgusting.
Well, there again, I mean, it was anything that made you stand out. Were you the kid that didn't wipe his nose and then he's got kind of a booger hanging out, or smelled like smoke, like you said, or forgot to zip the zipper up and
Oh yeah,
somebody,
any little thing, and it
any
seemed
little
like,
thing, and then maybe give you a nickname or just a teasing, and it's like this pecking order. And as a parent now, I'm seeing, oh, they're pushing each other to see where do you fit in this pecking order? Are you the guy that gets beat up every day, or are
yep.
you mostly good? And I
I
just
was
couldn't.
pretty.
Were
Go
you
ahead.
pretty good?
No, I was pretty good. I was quiet, but because I was quiet, see, it wasn't because I chose to be quiet. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I chose to be quiet because I didn't want to get picked on. Naturally, the more you invest in something, the more you're going to have feedback,
Yeah,
whether good or bad. So for me, chose to be quiet, but then by being quiet, that's the reception to everybody else as, hey, I'm pickable. I can be picked on
yeah,
because I'm not going to fight back or I'm not going to do this or that. It was like, yeah, I think that especially through my high school years, and then I had some issues with some people, but once something you get tagged with something, it sticks with you and it makes
yeah,
things difficult. I mean, there were times too as I was a senior, I had some good moments, but they were very short-lived, and it was kind of like woulda, shoulda, coulda. Can I start over again?
Oh, if I could turn back time, if I could find a way,
Sounds like a
says,
cliche.
yeah, says Cher, if you ever heard her
Yes.
music.
Yep, I remember that. I do
I know
remember
you
that.
know. I'm joking. I was trying to set that up even better than that.
Yeah,
But
the
anyway,
cliches.
if I could find a way to turn back time, but I don't really want to. I mean, now as an adult, I realize, ooh, there is the saying, I won't regret the past or wish to shut the door on it. It is what it is. It's part of me. It's part of who I was, part of who will always talk about or be able to remember. So how can I change it anyway? Might as well embrace it. Some of it I hope to never repeat. All the moving we did, I think we moved 12 times in my first 18 years of life. So that was too much. I mean, it just really was too much. So,
Yeah, no stability.
yeah. Man, there's about 10 things we could still talk about, but I don't know.
Oh, I
Should we?
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, we can keep going. I mean, just there's
sure.
a lot of little stories that are funny, and I just remember
Oh,
a lot of little things. Like I did, I was 4'11" in ninth grade.
oh man.
But I signed up for the freshman football team, and believe it or not, I actually got put in on a game, and I deflected a pass for the 2-point conversion or the
W-
extra point, and I actually managed to deflect the pass. I was almost intercepted it, but it was kind of neat. But I do
Cool.
remember a funny story too. When we were winning 42-6 and maybe, 3 minutes left in the game. And so I got put in as a defender. I remember this. It's like, okay, here comes the running back, then there's me, and then there's the goal line about 30 yards back. So I get my little crouch. The guy's coming right at me. I think I'm gonna throw an elbow or throw a shoulder into him. Nope. He rolled me over. Next thing you know, I'm looking at the sky.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, let's not try that again.
Oh man. No, yeah, I just played 1 year as well and had a very similar situation of football. Oh my goodness. Then I years later, that's an interesting direction we could go too is the years later, like do you run into people or oh yeah, I used to be at that high school or I my sister went to that high school and then we moved and or whatever. So I had that situation and the running back turned out to be somebody that did very well in college and then actually played a couple years professional football. I remember they put me in the game as a linebacker to try to get him, try to get somebody to stop him. And I mean, I was doing the same thing, looking at the sky. But I remembered his name. So years later, I
Well, that's
got a
because
job.
you saw it on his jersey as he was
Oh,
running
yeah. I
past you.
saw it on the bottom of his shoe. Oh, man. Oh, but years later, I'm working with his sister in downtown Seattle, Washington. And I went to school in Idaho. So it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, just a second. You're from where? You did what? Was your brother this? And we started putting it all together. And there she was all those years later. She was older than him, so she wouldn't have known anything about the football other than how successful he was later. But maybe I should be thankful I got him started. He knew
Right,
if he could
right. He
run
looked
over
good.
a bad character like me, he could run over anybody.
Right, you gave him his start because he got to run over you.
Yeah, gave him
Made him
his
look real good.
inspiration.
Now I remember also in a gym class, every season we had to play the sport that was in, and that's how you get graded for your gym class. And I played football too, but I went out for a pass and I remember scoring the touchdown. But what had happened is I jumped up and I caught the ball. It was a great catch. But I ended up landing on my head. I actually went unconscious.
Oh no.
I don't
Oh,
know for sure, but I do believe I had a concussion. I went to class, I do remember waking up with the ball still like stuck on my chest with my arm over it.
oh man.
But there were like three or four people at this time looking down at me when I opened my eyes. I could have probably gone to the nurse's office, but I didn't because I didn't know any better. But
Plus you're
yeah,
a
I
big
remember.
tough football player and
Oh yeah.
you know,
It's
you
like
really don't want to be seen unless it's good. I don't want anybody to think, "Oh man, yeah, he did really good, but he's a weakling because he went to the nurse." It's like, "Nope, play through it." Well, yeah, but it's
yeah,
a
well, I
bone
didn't know
sticking out
any
of your
better.
leg.
Yeah, yeah, right. My arm's
Ah,
coming out my back. It's like,
just walk it off.
yeah, literally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the bus
Anyway,
riding. Just, I
oh,
don't know.
yes.
The sports clubs and the bus riding, and I didn't really get involved with a lot of stuff during high school. If I
Yeah.
did, I mean, I played baseball out of high school into an independent baseball league. Didn't join the clubs. Didn't do any acting like I do now, or even did in college. The bus riding was interesting that you alluded to before.
Yeah.
I always remembered though was as soon as you got on the bus, all the people who smoked went in the back, and I'm like, in the middle of winter, we're trying to open windows and they're all yelling and screaming, it's cold, but yet, the fog has just filled up the bus
Ugh.
and the bus driver didn't do anything about it because she was a smoker.
It's perfectly fine for her. Uh,
I'm telling
hey,
you.
can I bum a cigarette off you kids?
Yeah, really,
Oh,
probably. Yep, I
oh
remember a lot of that stuff in
man.
that aspect.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It is wild. I have a smoking story out the back door of the welding shop, and I did a lot of welding in high school. I don't know why I was in there. I was also in all these classes for to prepare for college, and then here I am welding like 3 or 4 hours a day. But yeah, some of those
sounds
guys smoked out there. I was always too good of a moral and Christian and blah blah blah. Well, I was just smoking later by myself. I would never admit it. But and actually not much. Smoking wasn't really one of my main weaknesses. We'll get into our weaknesses another day, please.
no, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I've got some great shop stories, from welding shop and car. So our building also had auto body and auto mechanics and
Yeah, we
welding.
did too. We did. We
Yeah.
didn't have auto body, but we had mechanics, welding, and wood shop,
Okay. Yeah, I did
and
a
metal
wood
shop.
shop
We had
too.
metal shop too.
Okay. Yep.
And I
Yep.
actually think I did all three of them. I did metal, wood, and mechanics. I did mechanics for 2 years. It did help out, ironically. I
Yeah.
remembered a few things.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep, I really do. I mean, there's a few key things that help, definitely.
Wood
I,
shop, though, I remember
oh man.
this one kid, his name was Mike Patrick, and I don't know, he was a good kid. I didn't have any problems with him, but we rode the
Hmm.
bus and whatever. I didn't hang around with him. I remember how there was a pile of dust on the saw that I was getting ready to cut something with, and he just happened to be just like staring at me. So I blew the sawdust at him.
Oh,
He ended up in the nurse's office because he had it in his eyes.
oh
I didn't, but
no.
but that was a high school story, and that
Yeah.
was at the point where it was like I've had enough of people because I got picked on, and I was one of those kids. I didn't have any size until I went from 4'11" to 5'8" after I got graduated.
Oh man.
And now I'm down to 5'7". So
Yes, I
I'm going back to
remember
where I
that.
came from. Then. But
Yeah, and this
I
podcast isn't helping, is it?
no, because I'm
No,
repeating it.
it's kind of hurting it. Well, it's kind of even making you shorter somehow. I don't know. It could do damage to you, but you know what? We're
Shorter
having fun
temper.
doing it. At least I am.
Well, I am now because I don't care.
That's right.
But I did feel
Uh,
bad. I remember blowing his sawdust in this kid's face, and
oh.
he had it in his eye and whatever. Oh boy.
I'll tell you what, I love the shops, the different shop things, but I was in band and I always thought I was better because I'd started 1 year younger than most kids playing trumpet, and I wasn't better. I was just kind of middle of the road, but I had a lot of fun with that. And the very best thing that I think I ever did was marching band competition. And the loudspeaker at a big stadium somewhere, here is Nampa High School with under the direction and have our director's name and the dance instructor for the girls that were dancing and spinning guns and flags and batons. And I mean, it was
Yep.
powerful. I mean, it's just exhilarating. It's about the time of year of, well, the football season and October, and it's cool in the air, and you're under the lights and you're in this big stadium, and then all of a sudden you just pound a great song. You're just going. It was
Yeah,
just
and you
so
got all the
awesome.
students. You
And
have all the students
all
there too, like a pep rally,
um
similar or no?
pep rally, usually was in the gym or something.
Okay, it's a little
Yeah, a
different.
little more at the school.
Home.
This is a competition where other high schools were there too.
Gotcha.
And you've got a couple thousand people potentially. Southern Idaho, of course, had Boise and Nampa, Meridian. Just as you look at the map, you'll see all those different cities. I know you're far out in the Lansingburg region of our country, but
What a region. Lansingburg
anyway.
Knights.
Oh my gosh. It's just so powerful. And when you're on, every step was on, every note was on, and then you just come to a stop, just perfectly. And it's just like, no way. I mean, the natural high of that is, I don't know if I've ever had something better, hardly. It's really just so powerful. And that
Yeah,
lets you know music does that. Music and teamwork and let's work hard to make this work, whatever it is. And once it's done, the performance is just like, what?
I remember my neighbors, they were in the competitions, and they'd always be playing trumpets, different type of trumpets, I guess, and there were three of them that would play, and one was in the color guard,
Uh,
and they would do all of that for competition. I remember the avant-garde, it was called.
huh. There are some neat things like bugle and drum corps.
Yep, that's what it was. That's
Okay.
exactly what it
Okay.
was.
Yeah. And then like flugelhorns are kind of a French horn version, but look more
Mm-hmm.
like maybe a trumpet or a cornet. Baritone. Of course, you got those big not xylophones, sousaphone. The big
Yeah.
like tuba. They look like a tuba, and these guys are out there marching. I mean, and some
Mm-hmm.
of some of those games were cool. weather and nice. But sometimes, I mean, we were marching in the middle of the summer to practice to get ready and be ready for that. And it could be 80, 90 degrees. And here you are carrying these big instruments and jumping all over a field. Yeah. You get in
Yeah.
shape if you're not in shape.
So
But
every day was different. Every day was, I think one of the things that you wanted to mention was, your fears or your hopes. I don't know if I had any hopes back then. I think I just wanted to
uh
graduate. I wanted to get through school, but I just wanted to get through with decent grades, and I think I had okay grades. I was an average student, wasn't anything more, but I think a lot of the opportunities I had, I let fly by because of my insecurities,
oh,
my
yeah.
my inwardness and all of that. So I didn't do anything during high school, and it took me a long time to grow up.
Yeah.
I mean that in a good way. Hey,
Yeah.
grow up, will you? But
Yeah.
but I mean, I learned so many things, and I think that experience I may have shared back with the Greenville College days. That's when I got out on my own after, experiencing a lot of negativity. Once I
Yeah.
got to Greenville, I really blossomed. This is where I'm at now.
Cool. I love it. Yep, it's a very similar story to me. I mean, I was just surviving, single mom, raising me and my sister, and I'm sure other episodes of our podcast will get into, other things going on at the same time in life as these school days. And I wouldn't, like I said earlier, I wouldn't take anything for it now. I wouldn't trade it. It's this is yeah, it's been a journey, and I actually talked this morning to one of my buddies that I was out there marching with in marching band, and I've still kept in touch all these years later, and what a great neat guy and family that is. And so, I mean, I wouldn't take anything for all those different days and memories.
Yeah, neat.
So,
I don't really associate with any of my high school days. As a matter of fact, when I had my ankle surgery last year, January of 24, the guy that was my physical therapist, he and I graduated. He was on the basketball team, but he was quiet. He had two
uh,
or three brothers that also went through the school. My sister graduated with one of his brothers. His name was Jeff, and we graduated. He thought I was okay. He just doesn't remembers me being quiet. But
hmm
then again, you don't remember if you don't hang around with somebody. You don't really remember.
no,
But here he is. He was a physical therapist, and he's looking to retire in the near future as well. Within 5 years, he said.
wow.
That's
Neat. I
pretty
mean,
neat.
it's so cool reconnecting. And that's a whole nother, I've got several stories of that too. But that just lets us know we've got plenty more episodes to produce here, buddy.
They'll come. They will come.
They will come,
I
and yeah, I'm taking
yeah,
notes. Anyway, I
it's all
hope the
good.
listeners are enjoying it too and realizing, hey, we're all on the same journey called life, and we're loving and serving and trying the best we can to be who we were created to be. So,
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's funny you say that because just today at work, one of the carriers came into the break room and I was just getting ready to take care of some things there. And I don't remember what he had said entirely, but he mentioned, or I mentioned, isn't it funny how we are all made differently? We all look differently, and yet here we are, we're all having to do the same thing. We all kind of have to work or we have to do something to survive. And
hmm
the idea is the same.
yeah,
Quite ironic, we want to be different, but yet everybody wants to be alike. It's really weird.
yeah.
But, well, very good.
Well,
The
hey,
journey continues.
to be continued. Yeah, to be continued, and it continues. And I don't want you to ever forget, you're amazing.
Yes, sir.
All
Until
right.
next time.